Welcome to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own body cage. It's so fucking exciting. It's actually not. I do these like a lot. I do these like several times a week. It's a thing. Everyone loves body cages, but I've been asked a bunch of times, you know, to do this, so we're doing it. This one is not for me. This is for one of the local burlesque performers, and they can get a lot more complicated than this. But this is like a very simple way to do it, which, I mean, if you're building your own and you don't know what you're doing, it's best to start off simple, right? So here's what I have to start with. I have a measuring tape. I have a pair of fabric scissors. I have some stretch fabric, which I'm going to use for the panties. This is purple crushed velvet, but you could use whatever you want, but it really is best if it's a stretchy fabric. I have a piece of jersey knit that I'm going to use for the gusset. This happens to be Walking Dead jersey knit because everyone needs zombies in their crotch. That's the way it is. You get zombie crotch when you make a body cage. Just warning you now, you're going to get zombie crotch. I'm sorry. Got a couple of O-rings, which are not necessary, but, you know, you can add them in and it makes it more fun, so I just grabbed a couple. And I have 7 yards of purple glitter elastic. You can use whatever color you want. You don't even have to use glitter elastic. You can use regular, but being, as I said, this is for a burlesque girl, they do like their glitter. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is make a diamond pattern like this. So I made this from a pair of my panties, which were just a triangle. I just traced them and then added a diamond to the top. But for your reference, it looks like that. And I'm going to measure it and tell you how long it is. So it is 10 inches long by almost 6 inches wide, 5.5. 10 inches long by 5.5 inches wide. Cut yourself that out of any given fabric just to trace as a pattern. Then you get your stretch fabric. Figure out which way it stretches. So not that way. So it stretches that way. So that's the way you want to go up and down. So you want the stretch to be across the panties so that it will expand with the elastic, right? So we're going to lay that down. We're going to put this on it. And I'm going to move the camera now so you can see what I'm doing better. All right. So welcome to this part of the fabric. So like I said, the fabric has to stretch this way across the panties. So I've laid out my pattern here. You're just going to trace around it. I got a Sharpie. I'm doing it with a Sharpie. You can do it with whatever you want, really. I like to make these a little bit, like if I was doing this for myself, I would trace exactly. But for the burlesque girls, I trace them a little bit wider just because they have given me feedback that based on what they do on stage, you know, sometimes they need their panties to be a little bit wider just to make sure it covers everything and, you know, things don't fall out of it because you definitely don't want that to happen on stage. So I just give them a little bit extra. So we now have this. It looks like a kite. So we're going to cut that out. Okay, so we now have this. This is the basis for our panties. So now you take your crotch zombies or whatever kind of jersey you have. Although I personally think it's very, very funny to have the burlesque girls up on stage being all beautiful and shiny and having secret zombies in their crotch. I think it's great. So you're going to lay this on top of here, like this, just to give them a little bit of a gusset for extra protection, and trace that out. Let me cut that out. So this is going to sit in here like this. Like that. To give extra protection in your crotch. And you know zombies are going to do a really good job of protecting your crotch. Because, like, I mean, I'd be scared, wouldn't you? Now we're going to move to the sewing machine. Alright, welcome to the sewing machine. Actually, with the serger. I'm going to serge first. So, you can pin this if you're unsure. You also don't have to serge this, but, like, I do because I'm just so used to it. So you line that up in the crotch. And we're going to serge it right into place. Okay, so now we have this. We have a panties with the zombie crotch. So if you don't have a serger, it's not going to fray and you're going to cover it in elastic. So it's not the end of the world if you don't serge it. You can just stitch the gusset on and like let it be. So now we've got the purple elastic. I'm going to stitch it all around the edge like this. We're going to border the whole panties with it all the way along. So let's go. Okay, now we have this. This is going to be the thong part eventually. But yeah, so we're here. We're now going to go up to the mannequin. Okay, so we're now here with my weird mannequin body form. She's a lot shorter than me, but like I said, this is not for me. This is for one of the burlesque dancers. If you don't have a body form, almost any kind of form will work, like a dress form or whatever, but it is helpful if they have a crotch, so you can put the panties on it. You can also do this on your own body. It's a bit more difficult, but you can literally pin it on your own body, and that way you know that all the measurements are correct and it fits correctly. And if you don't want to do the panties, like, you don't have to. You can just use the elastic and make a harness, like, without the underwear part. It's all very individual preference. But I've just got this, like we had in the office. I've got a pin cushion with pins. I've got my 2 O-rings, and I've got a pair of scissors. So let's get going. Okay, so we've got the panties done. I'm just going to pause here and give you a better look at this. Okay, so here's the panties. So I just pinned these here, 1, 2, and 3, and then they come around the hips. I measured them so that they're all even. Come around the hips and attach to the thong in the back. So this is basically to make sure that the panties are like structural. And now that we've done that and everything's all measured and even, we can do the fun creative part. So I have all of this elastic left over to do the top part of the harness. Body cages usually take between 5 and 10 yards, depending on how elaborate and how much crisscrossing and stuff you want to do. So I have 7. So we're going to see what we can do. Well, there it is. I feel pretty good about it. All right, so here we have it up close. Doing this part is actually the most fun because you just get to do like whatever the hell you want. Like, you just get to be like all creative and awesome and like, yeah, just pin the elastic on all willy-nilly. Show you the back. Not that the back is very much. It basically just has 2 bands. Sometimes I do them very elaborate in the back, but like, yeah, this one's all about the front. All right. Now we're going to take it to the sewing machine. Okay, so now we've stripped it off the mannequin. I'm back at the sewing machine. We have this fucking mess, which looks like some sort of elastic bear trap. And I'm now going to try not to stab myself and stitch down all these little asshole things. This is the worst part of doing it. Okay, I think I've done it. I think I've got all the elastics out of it. It looks, or the elastics, the pins, I've got all the pins out of it. It still looks like an elastic bear trap. I don't know, you know what, I make these, it is not my problem to like teach them how to get into them. I give them a picture, I'm like, this is what it's supposed to look like. It's now your problem to get into it. So we're gonna put this back on the mannequin for one final look. All right, so here you have it, back on the mannequin. It looks exactly the same as before, but it's a lot less dangerous because there's no motherfucking pins in it, thank God. I only got stabbed a few times. I missed a thread. That's okay, I'll cut it off. So yeah, like I said, these are completely up to individual preference. Like, if you want to make it completely different, you can pin these straps any which way you want. I mean, I had 2 O-rings. I only ended up using 1 because that's just the way it turned out. If you want to omit the panty part, you can just have the straps come down and just sort of go right between the legs. Like, it's all very much personal preference and, you know, creativity. So these are a lot of fun to make. I've never made 2 the same, which is also really fun. Yeah, so it's basically just stretch elastic, piece of stretch fabric, a little bit of lining for the gusset, a shitload of pins, and like creativity. They're actually really simple to make, which is great. This one is elastic, like I said, so you have some room for error. It fits a bunch of different body sizes. You know, you might have to adjust a few things here and there, but this is pretty simple. You can get a lot more complicated, and if you start working with materials that don't stretch, like leather, it has to be like bang on, like you have no room for error, and it gets a lot harder. I actually made myself a leather one, which I'm going to show you now. All right, so here is a leather body harness that I made for myself, which is obviously a lot more complicated than the elastic one, because you've got to have your measurements like exact. I mean, some things buckle. You can see here, this is adjustable. There's a buckle for me to get into it in the back. But like this measurement and all the things, you have to be like bang on your body to make sure that everything fits you. So, you know, this is the front, which I really like. This is the back. So it's adjustable bra straps here and adjustable here, but like, that's it. This is also, look, it kind of makes me look like I have a bum a little bit. Isn't that exciting? This is like the fullest my butt will ever look. So be excited about it, because I am. So yeah, and the super fun thing about this one is that it's actually detachable. Right here, it's a separate top and bottom, so I can wear it as separate pieces if I want to. Let me show you that. And there, this is just the top. So if I want to wear this over, like, I probably wouldn't wear it over a bodysuit because this looks a bit weird, but if I was wearing it over like a velvet dress or something, because I tend to wear a lot of harnessy, underbusty type things like this anyway, and now I have one in red, which is super exciting. So I thought it would be great if I made it as a two-piece, and that way I can wear either or if I want to. And back to the elastic. Did you see it? Wasn't it amazing? Oh my god. So yeah, and that's one that, you know, I prefer because it's got more hardware and more like buckles and rivets and studs and stuff, and that's more me than this is, but it's essentially the same process. You just got to be a lot more like sure of your measurements and what the hell you're doing if you're going to build one like that. So anyways, if you liked this video, and I hope you did, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would be amazing. If you want to subscribe to my channel, that would be even more amazing. I will appreciate it. She will appreciate it. We'll both be very, very appreciative, I promise. If you want to ring the bell, you can get notifications for when I put up new videos. Maybe it'll be more sewing tutorials. Maybe it won't. You don't know unless you ring the bell, do you? If you want to follow me on social media, I'm under Madame_Absinthe on Instagram, where I have previously posted pictures of this fabulous hooded 70s dress. There's also a video on this, by the way, up on my channel. If you want to watch how I made this, that's up there too. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's pictures of my makeup and also like random shit that happens to me. So yeah, I think that's it. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on social media if you want to. Ring the bell for notifications. Oh, and if any of you make a body cage based on this tutorial, I would love to see it. Like, tag me in the photos. I want to see how it turned out. That would be great. And yeah, that's it. Great. I will see you around for my next sewing tutorial.